don't judge me, but I got something to tell y'all. Y'all know my past. It was bad. It was rough. So sometimes I just have little rushes when I want to steal. But I didn't plan on stealing from Walmart that day. But y'all, I went paying $35 for that jacket. No, not from Walmart. I wasn't paying $35. Now I used that $35 on me some groceries, which I did. I said, well, I'd rather buy my groceries and stuff. And I'ma just steal this. That's what I'ma do. So y'all know what I do. I put that jacket on like it was mine. Cause baby, I already knew it was mine. So I just put it on. And y'all, I proceeded. And I walked out the store like nothing happened. And yes, I did ask God for his forgiveness and he forgave me. So, yes, he's still working on me.
What's the quickest way for a person to get cut off? You steal?
No hesitation.
If you steal, I hate a fucking thief. I hate a thief. Once you steal, you done. You done with me once you steal.
Am I the a-hole for demanding to check my brother's girlfriend's bags before they leave my house? A bit of background here. I, a 39-year-old female, have a brother, 32-year-old male, who I'll call Chase. Chase has been with his girl, she's 35, that I'll call Vivian, for almost 2 years now. About a month into their relationship, Vivian got pregnant with my nephew, who is now almost a year old. Vivian also has 2 daughters, 5-year-old female and 8-year-old female, from a previous relationship. Her daughters are very close in age to my daughter, who's 7 years old, and up until last weekend, everyone got along fine. They live in a different state than us, but come to visit fairly often and stay with us because we have an extra room. Last weekend they came to stay again, and about an hour before they left, my daughter noticed that a few of her favorite toys were missing. The girls were playing all weekend, so I didn't think much of it and offered to help to look for them. After about 20 minutes of searching, we could not find the toys anywhere, so I asked Vivian's girls if they remembered where they were playing with them last. The girls said no, but acted a little guilty about it. I asked Chase and Vivian about it, and Chase said he saw the exact toys in the room that Vivian's girls were sleeping in. We went to check, and they were not there. He asked Vivian if she had moved them when she packed the girls' things that morning, and she said they were not there. We went back into the living room, and I saw Vivian's girls huddled close together over a backpack and quickly closed it when they saw we were there. Chase asked the girls again if they knew where the toys were, and this time they didn't say anything and they just looked at their mom. Chase reached for the bag and Vivian lost it. She started yelling at me, how dare I accuse her daughters of stealing, and she tried to snatch the bag away. Chase opened it and there were the missing toys plus a few more. I was absolutely furious. I told her I wanted to see what else she had and demanded she open the 2 suitcases. She said that was an invasion of her privacy and tried to take them and leave. Chase stopped her and made her open them. She had taken several tops, a few skirts and dresses, and a brand new pair of Nikes that belonged to my daughter. I took everything back and told her she and the girls were not allowed back into my home. I have since received several texts from her and a few unknown numbers telling me I embarrassed her and upset her girls because they were promised the items. Chase is upset with her, but said I was too mean to her in front of everyone and that I could have handled the situation more privately. I do feel awful that her girls left crying, but am I the a-hole for how I handled the situation? It's been edited to add answers to a few questions I keep getting. I am not sure who promised the girls the items. She would not elaborate, but I'm assuming it was her. She wanted me to pull her aside into a different room away from Chase and the kids to talk the situation out. Also, yes, I'm 99% sure the baby is his. He is almost a carbon copy of my brother when he was a baby. I do not believe the girls knew they were stealing the things. I really believe that their mom told them I said it was okay. We have never had problems with the girls before this. They really seem to be good kids. Also, I'll be talking with my brother tonight or tomorrow to discuss things further. Edit number 2. I will be speaking with my brother in about an hour. I have been in contact with someone that knows her, and a lot has come to light. I will update again if my brother says I can, as it's his life and not mine. Vivian is not at all who she claims to be. And this is the update from May 1st. Thank you all so much for the responses. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get to everyone's comments, as I really didn't think this would take off. I talked with my brother last night and showed him a lot of your comments and suggestions, and thanks to someone in the comments, we now know a lot more about Vivian and the kind of person she really is. I will not be able to tell you all everything, but I can tell you that my brother and nephew are now staying with us while he gets a DNA test and proceeds to cut ties with her. I may have more to give you all in the coming days or weeks, depending on what the paternity test says. Again, thank you all so much. So it turns out Vivian's daughters are being raised to be dishonest and untrustworthy. But that's not even the worst part. Vivian herself is a whole thief. Like, she just helped herself to things she knew she wasn't welcome to. And now Vivian's barred from ever coming over again. Sounds fair to me. I mean, who wants thieves in their house? Let's be honest. Can you ever trust a thief again? I mean, you can forgive them, but what does forgiveness really look like when someone violates your home, your safe space? Well, that's what we're going to unpack today. We're going to start with the question, why do people steal? Now, I'm not talking about Ocean's 11 level heist here. I mean everyday petty theft, like stealing toys during a play date or taking a blouse out of someone's laundry basket. Some people steal out of desperation. No, it doesn't make it right, but it happens sometimes because of financial struggles. You know, folks out here trying to survive, trying to get their kids things that they can't afford, and there's a whole conversation we can have around poverty and crime. And I think it's valid. But it doesn't make the behavior okay. It just explains part of it. But then there's this whole nother layer, and that's people who steal out of entitlement. They think they deserve it, or maybe they are just so used to manipulating situations that they don't see anything wrong with it. They might think, they won't miss it. Well, it's not that big of a deal. And then there's the most frustrating kind, and that's people who steal for an adrenaline rush. It's subtle and sneaky, but it's 100% intentional. It's about crossing your boundaries just to see if they can get away with it. But like Lil Boosie's daughter said, once you steal from me, you're done. Forgive and forget. Oh, sure. Once I forgive you, you can forget about ever stepping foot inside of my house again. Now, I don't know Vivian's full story, but maybe she's struggling. Maybe she grew up around that kind of behavior, or maybe she just felt entitled to take what she wanted. But no matter the reason, the result is the same. Trust has been broken. So now comes the big question. Can you really trust someone like that again? Well, here's the thing. Forgiveness and trust are not the same. Let's be real about it. You can forgive someone, but truly let go of the anger and bitterness? And still say, yeah, but you're not coming back to my house. Forgiveness is about your peace of mind. It's saying, I'm not going to carry this resentment around forever. But trust, on the other hand, it has to be earned. It's not something somebody gets back just because you're trying to be the bigger person. Think of it like this. If somebody wrecked your car, you can forgive them. Maybe they made a mistake, but that doesn't mean that you're going to hand them the keys again tomorrow, right? It's the same with your home. Your house is your safe space. It's where you raise your kids. You shouldn't have to keep one eye on a diaper bag and another one on a toy bin because you're worried that somebody like Vivian might be pocketing things on the way out. Now, someone might say, but she's family. Doesn't she deserve another chance? And maybe she does, eventually. But that doesn't mean it's going to happen on my turf. Letting someone into your home is a privilege. It's not an obligation. Even if they're dating your sibling, even if they apologize, even if they blame it on their kids and say it was a misunderstanding, you get to set the boundary. Now let's talk about a tougher part. What about the kids? Both the kids who stole and the kids who had their toys taken from them. It's easy to look at Vivian's daughter and say, well, come on, they're just kids. Maybe they didn't know better. And that might be true. But kids mimic what they see. If they've grown up watching people steal and never get held accountable, they might not even see it as wrong. And that alone is dangerous on so many different levels. But again, that doesn't mean you just let it slide. If anything, that's a reason to set even firmer boundaries. Because if no one ever draws the line, how will they learn? And your kids, they're watching too. They're learning how to protect their space. They're learning how to spot red flags. And you're teaching them that it's okay to say, hey, I don't feel safe with that person around. That's a huge lesson in life. It doesn't mean you turn them into little judges of character, but they deserve to grow up in a home where they don't have to worry about their things being stolen or their parents being afraid to speak up. So can you trust a thief? My honest answer? Sometimes. Eventually. Maybe. But only if they take real accountability. Make it right and show over time that they've changed. Not just words, actions. Change behavior. But know this. You're not heartless if you say, no, I'm not ready. Or even, I forgive you, but you're not welcome here anymore. That's not holding a grudge. That's protecting your peace. I don't ever recommend being uncomfortable to spare someone's feelings or help them sleep well at night. So to the woman from Reddit, if you ever see this, you did the right thing. And no, ma'am, you're definitely not the a-hole for telling that sticky finger crew they're not welcome in your home anymore. Boundaries aren't punishment, they're protection. And to anyone watching who's ever had to make a tough call like that, just know you're allowed to choose safety. You're allowed to forgive without ever opening the door again. At the end of the day, stealing doesn't just reveal what someone wants. It reveals how far they're willing to go to get it. When someone crosses that line, especially in a personal space like your home, it says something about their character. It shows a lack of respect, not just for your belongings, but for your trust, your boundaries, and your humanity. That doesn't mean people can't change. Some do. But until they take full responsibility for their actions, show some real remorse, and demonstrate growth over time, their character remains in question. And when someone's character is uncertain, you have every right to protect your space, protect your peace, and protect your people. And that's not harsh. That's just wise. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.